My name's Andrew, and today we're going to wreck a prickly pear. Crank your pears. So today I'm outside in nature, and we are going to be picking some of these amazingly odd fruit. Most people wouldn't think that you'd be able to eat a fruit of a cactus, and today we're going to harvest some of them. I'm going to pick a whole bunch of these and we're going to have a blast. Okay, so in order for us to not get absolutely hurt, because hello, you want to do a few things. Obviously, these plants are highly weaponized barb plants. They've got spikes all over them. That's what the word cactus actually means. It comes from the Greek word, which means prickly plant. Okay, that's what cactus means. I'm wearing gloves. I also have a pair of tongs here, just an old pair of tongs. I've brought a fishing fillet knife. Now I want to keep my hands as far away from the rest of the bulbs as possible. A container that I can keep my catch in. Let's get started. You can see this one has a rich, dark, deep red, almost a purpley color. This is ripe. Whereas opposed to this one here, you can see it's still very green, it's starting to turn. This one's not ready, we don't want to touch these. Now, the beautiful part about this from a conservation point of view is that when I'm finished processing these, we're going to have all the seeds and we're going to come out and replant them. So I've been out here collecting prickly pears. I've got so many exciting ideas. I want to do a cactus cooler. I want to do some kind of jam preserve. I'm super excited about that, like a jam jelly. I'm super excited. I'll see you in the kitchen. Let's have a blast. Welcome back to my kitchen. So what I'm gonna do is take the prickly pears, otherwise known as Tuna, spelt T-U-N-A. Tuna! And we are going to turn that into the base for an amazing, refreshing cactus cooler. So what we're gonna need for this is we're gonna need all of our prickly pears, our Tunas, our cactus fruit. I have 4 cups of granulated sugar, I have 2 lemons, and I have, just offset, 2 gallons of purified water. These are actually a fruit. The petals on the cactus are classed as a vegetable. So there's a fruit and a vegetable growing on the same plant. You just learned something. Right, now, second thing we're about to learn is on each of these Tunas, or prickly pears, there are these little freckles, but the little freckles aren't just freckles, they are weaponized freckles. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to take this amazing tool and we're gonna burn off those prickles so that we can process the prickly pears, and we're gonna boil them, we're gonna add a bunch of things to them, and we are going to then cool it down and turn it into a beautiful cactus cooler lemonade. Okay, so we're outside. I have the torch, my tongs, I have a secondary bowl, I have a cookie tray which I've lined in foil, and I have just a grill rack, and here we have all of our prickly pears. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna proceed to just put a bunch of these on. I'm gonna lay these all out. So you got a couple of good ones there. I'm just gonna burn a whole lot of them at once, and then turn them over. So you can see I've cooked this side here, and it's already blistered a little bit, and that beautiful juice is coming out of it. But let's turn these over and get the second half of the Tuna. Okay, so now that we're inside, we've burned off all of those small prickles, which the technical name is right here. So pro tip, what I like to do with fruit like this is I like to freeze it before I use it. And the freezing process essentially fractures, or you know that when water or moisture freeze, it expands. And so when the little cellular sacs or the fruit membrane freezes, it expands and fractures it, releasing all the juices. So that's why when you see me cutting these, they are super juicy. There's just juice flowing out of them straight away. So you can see it's coming straight off my knife there. So you can freeze them and then bring them back out of the freezer. See, that just completely burst as I cut it, and all of that juice just came out. We're gonna get all this done. I'm gonna add all the ingredients to the stock pot. From there, we're going to cook for a short period of time. We're gonna bring it to the boil, like a rolling boil, and we will leave that rolling for 10-15 minutes. I wanna caramelize and mix and blend all of the sugars and the fruits and the water and I'm gonna put some lemon juice in there as well, just to give it a little tart flavor and just to balance it. and that's going to bring it all together. So we have 5 pounds of now processed and cut up prickly pears or tunas. I'm now going to add 4 cups of granulated sugar, 2 gallons of water, and 2 squeezed lemons, fresh. Squeeze out of my hand. I want to catch all of the seeds. I don't want seeds going in there. We will strain later, but preferably let's just keep it country.
Double skim, double vac.
And just to make sure that everything's all mixed up, I'm going to take a spoon and I am just going to stir and agitate that. I want all of that sugar starting to melt and dissolve in, the lemon juice to blend through. And finally, I'm going to turn on the induction stovetop and bring it to a rolling boil. Leave it there for 15, 20 minutes. So these prickly pears and a couple of lemons have been boiling in this pot for 15 to 20 minutes. As you can see, I'm taking my large potato masher and I'm just
squanched up and daunched up
down all of those boiled prickly pears because I want to extract all of that prickly pear goodness out of them. Then I take my sieve and I'm just going to extract all of the main large chunky solids of all of the prickly pears and lemons out and put them to the side in a bowl to go to waste. Can you see I have a carafe full of ice. That's in preparation for some phenomenal prickly pear cooler. So I take my sieve, again, now cleaned, and I take this cheesecloth and I push it into the sieve sitting over the top of the ice. And I pull out my first jar of the prickly pear boiled juice and I pour into the cheesecloth, which extracts through into the sieve and down over onto that cold ice. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because there's still microscopic sections of both char from the burning of the exteriors of the tunas and also just some of the remaining tiny little prickles that are still present. Even though they've been burned, there is always a couple that'll get through. So make sure you do this if you're going to do this at home. Use cheesecloth as well as a sieve.
Double skim, double vac.
Pour it over the ice, and then you're going to have a phenomenal, instantly cold, refreshing drink. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is the finished product. Does that not look amazing? Super beautiful. I mean, the color alone makes you thirsty. So let's put it to the test. Cheers. That's good enough to let just all that juice just run off my bed. Let me talk to you about it for a second. It's like some kind of berry flavor. It's like a strawberry and raspberry had a baby and just that popped out. That is absolutely amazing. It's got a slight tang from the lemon. It's soft, it's syrupy. Yeah, super refreshing. Wow, that's amazing. If you have cactus near you that has prickly pear variety, you need to go out and do this. You need to go get yourself some prickly pears, do what I showed you, and go make yourself some. So if you've enjoyed this and you'd like to see more, hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment and hit the notification button. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching. We shall rename this the Prickles plant.